Are you feeling some heat? Because I think there is a little bit going into this boxing match with Lopez, the we'll say up-and-comer because he hasn't exploded onto a national scene yet, 27 years old, taking on the 35-year-old Rafael Marquez. And, I noticed that Team Marquez is kind of questioning JuanMa in terms of maybe his opponents along the way and also his ability to take a big punch.
Well, they have to question something because they're going to get destroyed, and they got to have something to talk about. But Steve, I'll tell you, I think Juan Manuel Lopez is really a tremendous talent, and I don't know that it's fair to call him up and coming because he is already ninth in our top 10. Gets a lot of credit from the boxing insiders. I think where Juanma comes up short is he's another one of those star guys that doesn't speak English, and I think that's a problem. Now he is a really charismatic, good, fun guy. He's just learning English now. I think once people understand him, and they you get not just the Spanish-speaking people, but the English speakers that can appreciate him. I think he's really going to be big because he's a terrific boxer. He's got great power. It's a good thing that he has a little bit of a questionable chin because he goes down, he makes for exciting fights, there's a lot of drama, and he's a winner. He's a good-looking kid, so I think that he's got a lot going for him, and for my money, he's one of the guys that I like to watch most in boxing.
By the way, Kevin, I think I was the first one to put him in the pound-for-pound top 10.
Give that man an award.
Yes, I did. Almost as soon as I saw him, it's like, this kid's really good. Rafael Marquez, also a hell of a good fighter, but the age factor is big here. If this was 2 years ago, holy cow, Kevin! I mean, this would be an extraordinary fight. It may still be pretty good. Rafael Marquez isn't going to just go in there and take a paycheck. This guy's a fighter.
Yeah, no, he is a tremendous fighter. I have a piece up today, and I kind of talk a little bit about why he hasn't gotten the credit that you really would think a guy of his stature should get. And I think, when you look at it a little more closely, Dave, he came up in the same era as Barrera, Morales, his brother, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. was still fighting. And so all those Mexican fighters that were so popular and so accomplished, they took a lot of attention away from him. And, people just, for some reason, anything under about 130, 135, they just don't pay a lot of attention to it unless you're a hardcore fan. And as a result, some people didn't realize and don't realize how good this guy has been over the years. But this is a guy that beat Mark Johnson twice when Mark Johnson was in the pound-for-pound top 5. He beat Tim Austin when Tim Austin was undefeated and, looking like one of the top 4 or 5 guys in the world. Had that tremendous series with Israel Vasquez. So anybody who sells Rafael Marquez short is making a big mistake.
If Lopez gets through this fight, okay, and I anticipate he will, what's the prospects down the road, let's say within the next year, of what to me would be an enormously exciting fight between Lopez and Yuriorkis Gamboa, who is, who's just a blast to watch. Talk about a fight that could do some business and could get some attention from maybe casual fans might start getting involved because that would be an incredible matchup.
Well, Bob Arum has kind of gone back and forth on that. He's now of the opinion, and I agree with him on this, that, hey, why make that fight too soon? We think back 10 years ago to our friend Diego Corrales, and he fought Mayweather too soon. They were both undefeated champions, and that fight didn't really have time to percolate. But Diego was going to jail at that point, and they wanted to get the fight in. They didn't know how long he was going to be away. So they made that fight, and it really didn't get the kind of attention that I think it would have gotten had it been allowed to develop. So Bob is going to let this fight develop. He has talked now about in the spring at Giants Stadium putting on a major pay-per-view card, with that being the main event, but a number of title fights. That wouldn't be one that could sell, or I shouldn't say Giants Stadium, I should say the new Meadowlands Stadium, the new name of it.
Jet Stadium.
But I just caught myself there. But, yeah, I think that would be a tremendous fight. I mean, to me, that's one of the... When I look at the fights and I say, what are the best fights that can be made in boxing, that's, number 2, number 3 on that list, if not number 1.
Just to go back to my point about the up and comer thing on JuanMa, I think it's just an indication of kind of where boxing is right now. We're talking about the radio audience listening right now that watches 4 or 5 big fights a year. I hope they know who he is. Hopefully, this fight will take him to the next level and make him one of the 5 or 6 household names that casual fans know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's funny. How do we define casual fans? And that's the big thing. But when we look at it, like, to me, the casual fan's a person who still thinks Mike Tyson, and that's the thing that I think, I'm going, well, we got to get beyond that, because there are so many good fighters in this sport, and it's a sport that, when you look, that there's a lot of good things going on, but it's just mismanaged so badly so many times, and they don't let you know about the good things that are happening. So, hey, as a fight fan, you know what? I'm a columnist, I'm a reporter, but I'm also a major fight fan. And, I want to see these fights, it's better for me, it's better for everybody if there's a lot of people at these shows, because the atmosphere is so much better.